We've all got scars, some on the outside and some on the inside. But we can't be defined by our scars. I've spoken with some extraordinary people about how they've become empowered by their scars. This is I've Got Scars, baby.
All right, Rushion, I'm so excited to have you on right now. I don't know if you understand, this show is about to be amazing, okay? So let me tell you what I have for you right now. I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work here. So, all right, so the first one.
Really?
Yeah, okay. The first one is a guy who he will drink a gallon of milk in 10 seconds. Now, here's the kicker. He's lactose intolerant. Yes? That's
10 seconds, lactose intolerant.
He'll drink a gallon of milk. Right. So, okay, cool. And if you don't like that, that's fine, because I got some more. So I had this 12-year-old girl, a 12-year-old girl who can burp.
12 years old. Okay.
She's 12. And she can burp her name while she juggles Barbie dolls. We are winning.
12 years old.
She
I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to work with you. Okay.
She doing that. She's super cute. Got the little pigtails and everything. Okay.
I'm working with you.
Okay. I got.
Okay.
It's fine. I got more. It's fine. Okay.
You got more.
Yeah, I got more. So a 93-year-old woman, because if you don't like the 12-year-old, you're gonna like the 93-year-old woman who can burp her name and all the names of her 12 grandkids. I feel like that's a touchdown.
Okay. I'm kind of confused here because of the fact that are you pitching to me? I thought I was coming on for the Audra Bryant show. That's why I was excited. But it sounds like I'm being pitched a different TV show.
Wait.
I know. So this is a Rushion McDonald. This is Audra Bryant. I know last time we worked together a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before America's Got Talent, there was a Steve Harvey's Big Time. And that sounds like segments from Steve Harvey's Big Time.
Oh, my bad.
Am I right or wrong?
So this is my show. This is I've Got Scars, baby. And that was Steve Harvey. This is not Steve Harvey's Big Time. Okay.
No.
No.
Never will be. Never will be.
Oh.
Never will be. Because I got a beard and you're not black and bald-headed, male-ish.
That is true. That is very true. Okay. You know what? My bad. It was the wrong show. Wrong show.
You're pitching
my bad.
But guess what? Ideas were fantastic, though. Ideas were fantastic.
Okay. Yes, okay.
Well, how you doing, Audra? Thank you.
I am doing well. I am so excited. Okay, first let me make sure people know. I mean, if they don't know who you are, let me make sure they know who you are. Mm-hmm. So, right here, ladies and gentlemen, we have Rushion McDonald. We're talking about Emmy-winning TV and film producer. I mean, he's a writer, comedian. He's a host of money-making conversations. I mean, this man works. He puts in that work, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yes. And not only does he put in the work, like on TV and all of that kind of stuff, he puts in the work even in the kitchen. That we're gonna have to get into that, because I'm like, wait, that's was not the Rushion I knew.
Because I have a vegetable garden now, tomatoes and peppers and dills. The pandemic took me and made me a real official old McDonald's farm guy now.
And that's
so I got
wisdom.
Tomatoes, I got rosemaries, I got everything. And it's really, when you talk about the kitchen and you talk about my vegetable garden, that's the part of my life that I didn't have when you was in my life. And I didn't have it when I was managing Steve Harvey for 16 years, because I was intimidated by the process of, if I stopped what I was doing, if I got off that rat wheel or that mice wheel, that little wheel that just spins, that I would miss an opportunity. I didn't trust myself. And so I very much trust myself. I very much surround myself with people who believe in me. And that's how people fail, because one, they don't trust themselves. Secondly, they don't surround themselves with people who believe in them.
Wow. Okay. So I feel like we can't just glaze over the fact that you were Steve Harvey's manager for 16 years. I mean, we saw Steve coming. I mean, you knew Steve before Steve was Steve. Steve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Opening act. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We did stand up together, and he was my opening act, and the thing about my career, my degree is in mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
I left IBM, and that's when I met Steve. I was headlining the show in Houston, Texas. He had drove down from Cleveland, and that's how we initially met. And then we maintained a relationship over the years, and then he opened a very popular comedy club in 1992 in Houston, Texas, with a comedian by the name of David Rayborn. He was my business partner. And Steve and I reconnected. And the following year, he offered me an opportunity to write on his very first sitcom, ABC's Me and the Boys. That started my career in writing. And he doesn't do that for me in writing. I'm not sitting here. And then later on, I became his manager. And basically the rest is history, Wow. The deal for Family Feud, which is the #1 show on syndication right now. I brokered that deal. The 3 top 10 books, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Success. All those went to #1. I did those. The 2 #1 box office movies. The talk show that was on in Chicago, that was me. And so it allowed me to be successful in a lot of levels. I benefited, he benefited, and I'm grateful to be able to be on your show to talk about it.
Wow. That is incredible.
And we forgot the radio show, the radio program.
The radio show, exactly. Oh my gosh. I mean, that was like the launching pad for everything.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things we're talking about today, making a shift, because you went from, hey, I am managing a very successful artist and brokering deals. I mean, all types of stuff have come from that. TV shows, films, live concerts, events, and all types of things. And to go from that into something you feel is maybe more in alignment or just a new phase of your life. What do you feel like the transition is or was like for you from that moment?
I stopped managing Steve in 2016. Okay. And I'll tell everybody, whenever you're making a decision to make a transition, build that decision simultaneously as you're making that transition. I stopped managing Steve. My daughter was a very high-profile tennis pro, and I was going to go manage her career. That was my second calling. I said, if I'm spending all my energy building a brand like Steve Harvey, then I at least can spend my energy with my daughter. Well, 6 months later, my daughter blew out her knee and on the tennis court, and then her tennis career was over with. So I had no focus as to what I was going to do with my life. This is the fall of 2016. We had just wrapped the Neighborhood Awards in Las Vegas. It was huge, wildly successful.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who Rushion McDonald was. I didn't know if I was popular. People said I was popular. I didn't know, and all my popularity was tied to Steve Harvey. And so I had to figure that out. And so a lot of people approached me with deals. I had a potential deal with Samuel Jackson. It didn't go anywhere, not because of Samuel Jackson. The networks just didn't buy it. Yeah. And so May of 2017 is when I launched Money Making Conversation. And I had been doing it when I was managing Steve as a Facebook. Every Tuesday, I would just answer questions.
Yeah, I remember.
And so that was something I started while I was still managing him. And but when I launched Money Making Conversations, I was still apprehensive because of the fact that I didn't know if people was calling me because they thought I was still managing Steve Harvey. When I said calling me to allow me to interview them, so I was not very comfortable. Probably the first year I was doing that show. And to be successful at anything, you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable and confident. Those two things. Comfortable and confident. Now, I was wildly successful and wildly popular as a baker. But that was just a gift. I didn't. My career is not going to be tied to baking. Even though people try to do TV shows with me about baking, I said, I like that, but that ain't what I want to do. What I'm doing right now with my career, I manage Stephen A. Smith. I produce television shows. Money Making Conversation is a wildly successful platform that I host. We get A-list guests, from Al Roker to Don Lemon to Patti LaBelle, Yolanda Adams,
Everybody is
Jacob
on there.
Lattimore. It really has become a show that I look at it and I go, wow, this is really, and they call in to speak to me. They call in to speak to me based on my reputation. I don't do as they say, ambush questions,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to do questions that, like your show. Your show is asking me questions, and hopefully somebody would listen to me and go, okay, I really needed to hear that from Rushion,
Yeah.
But what you're going to hear from me is that I am talented. I am very gifted, and I had to accept that. And then when you accept that, comes responsibilities that you have to excel at what God has given you. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where people fail. There's a lot of talented people out there, but when you accept that, are you willing to do the work that's associated with that gift?
Exactly. And I'm glad that you brought that up. And when you're talking about your own gift, when you're talking about, okay, I have to accept my gift.
Right.
And then you look around and you're like, okay, wait, so now what exactly are my gifts?
Right.
Is it just the thing that you would do for, they have, there's different theories. It's a thing that you would do for free, or a thing that you just do with the greatest of ease. What do you feel like is the easiest way for a person to discover their gift?
Well, what you're willing to put the most work into and get the most. Here's the thing, because people have called me a Renaissance man because I do so much. I'm a multitasker. I'm very talented at time management. I understand how to juggle different things, and then I do my homework on different things that I do. And so I hear the words gift, I hear passion, jump, follow your faith. I hear a lot of terminology that is coined out in this motivational industry. I tell people, first of all, make sure whatever you're trying to pursue, you actually have the talent to be successful at it. Okay. Just because you want a model, do you walk like a model? Do you look like a model? Do you have an attitude of a model? I'm not saying you have to be attractive to be a model. It has to be, but do you have the attitude to walk through all that negative spirit that may tell you that's not what you're supposed to do? See, negative spirit stops a lot of people's dreams. They can be your children, they can be your husband, it can be your boyfriend, it can be your mom, your dad, your pastor, it can be your coworkers. All these people can shut down your dreams.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is, believe me, when I was telling people that I wanted to leave IBM to go pursue a career as a stand-up comedian, a lot of people was like, okay, what's that? How are you going to make money?
Okay, I'm glad that you brought that up because you had a couple of those situations. You have leaving IBM to go be a stand-up, and people are like, okay, so you just want to leave IBM to go be broke? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's basically, because I didn't have a plan I didn't know how to make money. I didn't know that. All I know is I was going to figure it out. I was going to figure it out. But, when you go into entertainment business, there really isn't a set plan that you can tell somebody that I'm going to work for the bank. I'm going to work for the city. I'm going to work for this insurance company. I'm going to work for Apple. See, people understand that 8 to 5. They understand 8 to 5. They understand vacation. They understand health plans. Now, when you become an entrepreneur, and that's what's the fastest growing enterprise, and what we realize is that anybody who's on social media is a brand, and if you have a brand, that means you have an ability to be an entrepreneur because you can market yourself. So a lot of people don't understand that. And so there's a different level of communication that we're dealing with now. When I left, I was just a guy who wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I wasn't leaving to be an entrepreneur. I just wanted to be the next Eddie Murphy, the next Richard Pryor. Which is a mistake, because there can only be one Eddie Murphy. There can only be one Richard Pryor. I was supposed to leave saying I want to be Rushion McDonald, and I did not understand who I was, and that's why I didn't reach the level of talent that I could have achieved at that point, because I was trying to be things I thought people wanted me to be instead of being Rushion McDonald.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I did have, I keep saying all of this, like, I'm so glad. But I did an interview with Tabitha Brown, and that was one of the things that she said is when she started, like at first when she was looking, moving into her acting career, she was told, straighten your hair and lose the accent. But as soon as, she had that conversation with God and got really real, that she let her hair go back to natural, and she let the accent come forth, and she was just really being herself. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So
well, let me just explain that. You know, if you're gonna fail, and we all are gonna fall down. Okay, Don McClurkin had that great song, "We Fall Down."
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta have a plan on how to get back up. And so if you've fallen because other people have told you this is what you're supposed to do, well, guess what? When you fall, they're not gonna be around to tell you how to get up. And so when you fall, go fall on your gifts, fall on your beliefs, fall on your plan. And then that means when you get up, that plan that you get up to pursue will be even stronger. Now, people have told me, I remember when I was doing stand-up comic in the early years, people was telling me, hey, Rushion, you have an accent people never understand. I go, but aren't these people laughing? And they say something like, they could laugh a lot more if they could understand you more. I don't know what that means, but you know, that was something that people would people would say to discourage me from being successful. Yeah. And so I would tell, like she was saying, she said, hey, I believe in me. That's all she was saying. If I'm gonna go into a gambling situation and I'm gonna gamble on you. And that's what people tell you you can be or should be. And that's why I keep telling you is that if you're trying to be a doctor, don't talk to a mechanic. Okay? That's what people do wrong. They get advice from people who can't even come close to telling them how to pursue their dreams. When I told people I want to be a stand-up comedian, guess what? Even when I talked to other stand-up comedians, they didn't know what to do. So that means you have to trust your own instincts because guess what? Some were black, some were Hispanic, some were male, some were female, some were gay, some were straight. So all these people have different lanes on how they can be overweight, skinny. So everybody has their own plan. And so when you have your own plan, you have to pursue your own personal dreams. And that's when you have to have goals tied to that dream. If you don't have goals tied to that dream, you are not going to be successful. You're going to be frustrated. And once frustration gets in, then the setbacks of I should be doing something else starts to take over, gains momentum. And that's when people get married when they shouldn't be married. They have children when they shouldn't be married. They have jobs when they should be at jobs that they don't want. There are people out there that are upset with life and dating people, married to people that they should be dumping. The dogs, they should be kicking to the curb. You know, when I say I'm some actual dogs and real dogs. So all these things are what this baggage needs to be dumped in order for you to be successful.
Wow. My. Okay. And I mean, that's a mouthful right there. That's a whole mouthful. And I want to go back to that second moment. I want to go back to that second moment where you talked about, okay, so leaving IBM to go do stand-up. Right. And then people, I'm sure, were like, after you were incredibly successful in management and, you know, doing all of these deals and building this amazingly huge brand. And then you leave, you exit that.
Right.
What for you? Okay. And I'm going to tell you a memory I have.
Right.
Back in the day when we were at the neighborhood awards, but even before it was the neighborhood awards, and it was called the Hoodie Awards. And so I just remember, and when I saw you, I was like, I don't understand how this man does this. Right. I mean, literally, I would look at you, you would go to bed at wee hours, wake up, it's still the wee hours. Like you had at least like maybe 3 hours of sleep. I'm like, and then you like, and you're moving, suited and booted. I'm like, I don't understand how this person exists. I did not get it. And so for you, did that take a toll in like health, emotions, mentally, or was it just like, I love this and that's the thing that moves me forward?
I love it. I love it. You know, listen to me. I probably get four hours of sleep. Okay. So I have to keep moving or I will fall asleep. Okay. And so my mind has to stay active, you know, and things like, so during this pandemic, it took me a minute. When they shut down this country, it took me a minute to digest the way I thought and my whole lifestyle, because I would still get up at 4 with nothing to do. So I was getting up at 4. It was like, okay, 4. And so then I started getting off my schedule. I picked up like 10 pounds, you know, because my whole world was messed up. And so when you say, Rushion, you just a nut. You just busy. You was doing this. You was doing this. I was excited because you know why? I was doing things that I wanted to do. I was doing things that when I was 18, I was able to walk into Vegas. I was able to walk into a giant MGM and recreate that whole world. Walk into a parking lot and turn that into an oasis.
Yes, and that's what you did.
This is what that excites me. You know, some things that brought me to tears. That I think about my life, and I think about the people I've affected in my life. That's one of the beauties of money making conversations, is that I interview people that I didn't realize I had that effect on them. Other than me just being Rushion. If anybody knows Rushion, I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. I'm gonna tell you what you should do. So we can move on. Let's go get rid of this conversation. I ain't got time to talk to you. Okay, what you want to do? Yeah, you'll do that. Bye. Okay. You still standing there? I told you what you wanted to hear. Now I know you didn't like it. Maybe I told you to quit. I told you can't sing, right? Okay. Okay, cool. I told you can't act, right? I said you should be able to. I lost a couple of friends because I told them they should stop acting. But now they're great producers because I told them they should produce. But they didn't want to hear it at the time. I said, hey, you know something? You cannot act, but you are brilliant as a producer. Nobody wants to hear that. But, you know, but I will tell you that.
But, okay, that is an amazing person to be around. That friend that tells you the truth about who you are and what's going on and what they see. That uncle, that boss, that whoever,
the
mentor.
Priest on the other side of the confess. Okay, Father, I have sinned. Okay, you can't sing. Okay, next.
But but it will save you time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it'll save you a lot of time. But I think that, you know, nobody wants to hear that. And I don't want to be the one to tell you that either. You know, I'm not a guy who just abruptly just says that. Okay, I will, but guess what? You come to me, Audra, and say, hey, you want to pursue a career as a writer, okay? I'm going to give you an opportunity. Now, don't allow your frustration of you not accomplishing your dream to come into my life. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, if I'm mentoring you, I'm supporting you, and you say I'm doing everything, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. Now there's certain things. As much as I wanted to be in the NBA, I can't dribble the basketball. I cannot run down the court and take my eyes off the basketball and dribble it at the same time. Right there, I knew I couldn't play in the NBA. I don't care how good I was in the park. So that's the same mentality, is that you have to realize that there are certain tiers where somewhere along the line, somebody's going to be better than you. Now, if it's a bunch of people better than you, you need to change your career. If that's what you want to be great at. Okay. I feel I'm great at what I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I feel that I'm great at what I do. So I've never been in a situation where I felt that I couldn't compete with the best.
Yeah.
But I also know that when people tell me, Rushion, you're really talented stand-up, but I didn't really like being a stand-up. I was talented at it, but just because you think I'm really good at it don't mean I'm happy at it.
Yeah.
So don't get tied up into being what people think you should do. That's why you see people like Pee Wee Herman don't want to be Pee Wee Herman no more. Okay? Yeah. Because he's tired of, you know. So a lot of people develop these careers and make a lot of money, want to get off that roller coaster, or that wheel, because they're saying, you know, that's not me. And so you have a career. I have a career. People want to pursue things. But if you look out there and you see a bunch of people better than you, you better change your career plan. Because you're going to be at the low end of the food chain, and you won't be successful in that particular profession that long, because
you don't have the passion for it like that. Wow. Okay. So moving into like,
I think passion. You can't have the passion.
Yeah.
You can have the passion. I mean, cannot. But we're competing in land. If you're competing with people who are way better than you, shut it down. Let common sense take over. And also, you should never be sitting around here just focus on one thing. We're in an age of multitasking.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, Audra, this is one of the things that you do. Yeah. Okay. This is not the only thing that you do. No. Okay. But when you do it, you do your prep work, you know, you plan, you book, you tell people. That's why I came on your show, because I saw a level of professionalism. I said, that's my girl. I'm gonna do a show. They said, Rushion, don't worry about it. I got a show. She called me, I'm gonna do her show. Okay. What day? Whatever day she wants. I got it. And so that's the respect that you're trying to pursue, you know.
Yeah.
For you want people just like that's all I did in 2017. I just
Mm.
started with an idea.
Yeah.
And I kept marketing. I'm still marketing. And then when I get people on the show now, I know why they call. They want to talk to Rushion McDonald because you know they want to talk about what I got to say, what I think, and it all happened because I started working on my brand. And a lot of people don't understand the power of the brain. You go to their social media, they got booty pictures, they got pictures don't make sense about anything that they do. Because I was so multi-talented, I got a Rushion McDonald website. I got a Money Making Conversation website.
Yeah.
I got a Baker Spotlight website. I got a 3815 Medium website. At one time, I tried to put all that on Rushion McDonald, and it was confusing.
Oh.
Okay, and so I had to confusing. That's why I have a social media platform for Money Making Conversation. I have a social media platform for Rushion McDonald. And so that way you come up with Money Making Conversation. That's all you're going to get is Money Making Conversation. You're not going to see no cakes over there. You're not going to do anything. You come over to Rushion McDonald, you're going to see cakes. You're going to see my lifestyle. You're going to see more of a lifestyle, personal look of Rushion McDonald. And that had to be done that way because of the fact that I do so many things very well.
Okay. We talked about really kind of understanding your gifts and breaking that stuff down. What about, okay, somebody that's like, I understand what my gifts are, but I'm scared though. I don't know if I want to put myself out there like that. What if I fail?
That's the average person out there. They want it handed to them. They want somebody to tap them on the shoulder and say, it's you. I wake up every day with a degree of uncertainty. There are no guarantees that the plan I have in place is going to actually be executed the way I want it to happen. If you want to be frustrated, continue to think about not living a happy life. I live a happy life. You know, I remember my wife asked me. She said I got up and I was taking her to the airport, and she said, when are you not tired? I told her I'm tired right now. I said, and so that's part of my life. That's part of my DNA. Is that I can't accept fatigue as an option as to why I cannot be successful. So people allow race, they allow gender, and they allow themselves. And that's why I keep going back, Audra, to putting people around you that believe in you. But more importantly, I have this thing that when you look in that morning, when you wake up in the morning, you look in that mirror, do you believe in that person you're looking at? Or are you allowing that person you're looking at to tell you why you can't be successful? I can't guarantee you anything. I would not get on your show and tell you that you're going to be successful, because guess what? It takes so much work. It takes so much effort. It takes so much belief. It takes so much a system. You have to be able to multitask. You can't have an excuse as to why your sick days have to become your healthy days. You can't let the pandemic stop you. You can't do anything. It's to be successful is tied to having no excuses. And you have to be very, very, very selfless.
No excuses. That's something right there.
No, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you different. I wish I could tell you different. And I talk to a lot of successful people. I'm successful. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been around a lot of famous people. People tell me I'm famous, but I think that when I look at a person like you, I look at see a very attractive person who woke up one day and said, you know something, I'm gonna trust myself. I'm gonna let people see me who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that happened to me when I in my 40s for me. As successful as I had been up to that point, I was just kind of like at the right place at the right time. I'm just lucky. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the hookup. I never thought it was tied to my actual talents. And so that's what you're accepting now. You're accepting the fact that what you have accomplished in life is tied to your actual talents. And that's why you're able to sit up there and you have a show like this and you're able to reveal your scars and say, hey, that's me. I have no excuse as to why I look this way or why I walk like this or how I talk like this. I am willing to go down being me. And guess what? This is Rushion McDonald. Cool, deal with it.
You know, I'm glad that you said that, and I want to make sure I tell you, when I worked with you, this is okay. So I didn't look at myself in the mirror until I was 25. So I was burned at a year and a half. Didn't look at myself in the mirror until I was 25. I worked with you before I turned 25. So when I tell you, I mean, locked down, scared of everything, did not want anybody to see me, and so timid. And I'm around all of this fantastic, wonderful, like, success, but I can't do anything. I could not do anything with it. I'm just being honest with you. Right. I couldn't, you know, I would tell my parents and like, oh, you know, I work with Steve Harvey and I work with Rushion, like all of this. That was great, but I still felt so small. It didn't matter what was going on around me. It didn't matter that I'm around some of the most successful people in entertainment, period, because I felt this big. Right. And that's because of how I felt about myself. So, you know, it really is like when you talk about yourself, when you talk about a level of success, it truly does have to do with how you view yourself and that level of self-esteem, that level of self-worth, and what you say to yourself. Like you said, when you look in the mirror, what are you seeing when you look in the mirror? And so that's the work that I feel like I had to do in order to move forward powerfully. So, and I'm still doing that work. But, absolutely, you know, I just had to make sure I told you that, because I was like, Lord, I felt like, did I waste my opportunities, God? But, you know, it is what it is. It takes what it takes.
Well, it's not an opportunity. I always tell people, when you have age as an excuse as to why you cannot be successful opportunity, because you set on age. You know, that's one of the things I practice with people all the time, and talk with people all the time, is don't let age be a limiter of what you can accomplish in your life. Allow it to just be part of the process. You know, I always tell people, you have to get old to do anything in life. You have to age in order to reach your goals, to accomplish your goals, set new goals. You have to get older. It's how you approach that whole process. If you fear getting older, then that means your whole goal system is messed up. That means you're trying to stay young, you're trying to be. I would tell people, look, people can tell me all they want. They say, Rushion, you look good for your age. Okay, until I stand next to you. Oh, is that your daddy? Yeah, because of the fact that our age, you know, you have to realize who you are and ride that out. Yeah. I'm not trying to tell you that I'm going to go somewhere and get plastic surgery, get my face like this, and I'm supposed to look like I'm 30 again. That ain't going to happen. Yeah. But if you accept the responsibility, take care of yourself, stretch, and all these, eat the right foods and all that stuff. And I'm the worst person to tell you to eat the right food, because
I've been seeing your food, okay, and I'm like, Lord.
I'm tell you something. I'm tell you, AB, I will eat me some food, and I will eat it for real and look at you crazy. Okay, if you tell me to stop, what's your problem? You know, it's easy to be a great head coach, but it's not easy to be a great player, because a lot of people are great head coaches who never played the game. Okay, at the level that they may be coaching. Okay, and so I am now a talent. I am a producer. I am a manager. I am a guru. I'm an advisor. I'm a mentee. I am all these things. And along the way, I had to rebuild myself from the umbrella of what I had done for Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. In the process of doing that, people will not answer the phone that used to answer your phone. Mm. People will undermine you. And so what I had to realize is that world that I had created is not a world that's going to be useful for me anymore. Mm. See, I had to accept that. See, if I didn't accept that, then guess what? We wouldn't be sitting here today. Yeah. And what I'm telling you is that, see, you don't feel sorry for yourself anymore. Mm-mm. You don't feel sorry for yourself when you look in the mirror. You don't feel sorry for yourself when you get out of the shower. Mm-hmm. And see, that was an important step in your life. Now I'm telling you that, okay, cool. Now that you're off the pity train, or I feel sorry for myself, go for it. Mm-hmm. This is the stage of going for it, but I'm just letting you know is that Rushion McDonald is on the show because you asked me to come on the show. Yeah. Yeah. Not because I felt sorry for you, because I wanted to do your show.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I love that. I love that. I appreciate all of that. And I just feel I'm just very, very grateful in this moment. So Absolutely. Thank you so much for being a part of this show, Rushion. I mean, this for me personally, I feel like things have come full circle. And I'm going to tell you why, because when I was back working at Steve Harvey's Big Time and all of that, I mean, I learned the most. I mean, I've never worked so hard in TV in working for you and pitching to you, but being able to come full circle and have this conversation with you is huge, because I felt like, I mean, it was years ago, well over 10 years ago, but I felt like, dang, I lost this opportunity. But maybe the different perspective is that I had to grow. I had to learn about myself. I had to get off the pity train, as you said, so that I can be open and move powerfully in this opportunity, because you wouldn't be here if a shift did not take place in my life. Right. And I think that I just want anybody watching to understand, hey, don't think that you've necessarily just lost, like, oh, I'm down for the count. It doesn't have to be a down for the count situation. Maybe it's just that, hey, I have some life lessons to learn. I need to grow, and then what is for me will come back around to me. But I appreciate you, and I've seen the shifts you made in your life, and I'm so happy to see the success. I mean, you got everybody on your show. I mean, literally, I was just like, who is not on this brother's show? Who is not on it? I don't think there's anybody that is in entertainment that you have seen on anybody's TV show, movie, anything, have not come through your show. And I understand why. So
thank you. And I appreciate that. I think that, moneymakingconversation.com, that's what I call it, is a show where, if you watch this, you want to go to moneymakingconversation.com. I have over 664 interviews that I've done over the years, since May of 2017. And, when I was speaking to Nancy Grace the other day, and she's speaking to me, and we talked about 40 minutes, and she went, I said, Nancy, I got to go, we through? That, it's individuals like that lets me know that I'm headed in the right direction. But more importantly, I had to define my brand. I'm still defining my brand, and I have to put in the position that people trust, and people believe that when they come to Rushion McDonald, that there's a brand awareness is going to happen, and there's an ability to be able to communicate at a level. And then I'm going to interview. And my greatest compliment is when people say, nobody's ever asked me that question, or they go, it's over with already? Wow, that was fun. And that's my goal. Those are my goals, and that's what I'm pursuing. And thank you for inviting me on your show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when people want to follow you, what do they need to?
Just go to moneymakingconversation.com and join the fan club. Okay. And when you join the fan club, then you access all of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things. And you become fan club member. Got over 90,000 fan clubs members. I got over 1 million social media followers. 90% of my followers are female. So
wow. And I'm telling you, now if you got a sweet tooth, okay, you go follow him, and you gonna get yourself in trouble. Is all I'm saying. And I'll leave it there.
That's true. Thank you very much.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you. Love you too.